Jennifer, thank you so much for joining us for the 22nd Happiness Happens month. So we're doing, as you know, when you and I just met, we're both with HCI as our publisher, and they were kind enough to introduce me to you because I'm so excited about your book that's coming out in during Happiness Happens month. That makes it even extra happy. Maybe actually this video we'll release it on the day the book comes out. That could be fun. Awesome. So basically, Jennifer, I just want to thank you for being here. So your book is titled, and I want people to know why we gave you this type of happiness. Your book is titled The Art of Badassery, Unleash Your Mojo with the Wisdom of a Dojo. Did I say that right?
That's pretty much it. Yes.
Yay. Yes. Okay. So I think that's about a lot of inner confidence, and being confident is one of the 31 types of happiness, because when we feel confident, we feel good. And I didn't tell you this, but just so you know, like I defined happiness as when we feel naturally good. And so sometimes that's why we have like 31 types. We have the obvious of having fun or laughing, or some of those what I call high vibe types of happiness. But we have some that are just super ingrained in inner for us. And then we have some that are maybe what I kind of call lower vibes. Like sometimes happiness is like a relief, like maybe we completed a project that was driving us kind of nuts, and so we just go up a little bit, or our crying kids are asleep and we're like, okay, I can just breathe by myself for 5 minutes. And that's relief. So, and content's, yes, I think, an underrated type of happiness, but wouldn't be at the same vibe of excitement and those things. So I think confidence is, again, a super inner type of happiness. We're all going to have times we're not confident. That's just also normal for trying something new. And we don't want to lose the happiness of learning something new because we're not confident that we maybe don't throw darts well, or whatever it is we're trying to do. But we want to always have some fun. But can you share a story about confidence and how that made you happy? And it may or may not connect to your book, because we'll get to your book next, but.
Yeah, absolutely, Pamela. First of all, thanks for having me on, and I'm excited to share Happiness Month with you. It's a great topic. Confidence is the thing I love to talk about. I love to teach just practical tools, how anyone can feel more confident instantly. Essentially, a story, when you immediately asked me that, I went right back to the dojo. And I was on the mat. I was in my ready position. I was my physicality was strong and grounded. I was at my black belt test, ready for the battle ahead, but essentially knowing that I've come this long way and I'm at the precipice of this next, moment.
Just so for our audience, do you want to define what dojo is for them in case they're not familiar with martial arts?
Sure. I mean, I assume everyone knows what a dojo is, but I shouldn't. So a dojo is a martial arts studio. If you're not familiar with martial arts, obviously you've heard of karate, taekwondo, all these different things. The martial art I studied was called Hapkido, and that is where my training started 22 years ago.
Okay. Yeah. I just wanted people to know that where you were, in case this is new for them. Maybe you're inspiring some people to try this.
Yes. That is a lot of things I hear after a lot of my talks. You got me so excited about this martial arts. It's not anything I ever wanted to try, but all of a sudden I have women around the country that have now stepped into a dojo for the first time. So that's exciting. But essentially,
so you're getting ready for your black belt at your dojos, which is like a karate studio, or
Oh, that's it. I mean, that's it. I just remember being there on the mat, ready for this, like I said, beating that's coming, but essentially at that point, knowing that I put in the work, right? So for me, happiness is like being able to look back and give myself a pat on the back for all the work that I've done up until this moment. All the seeds that I've planted, all the sacrifices I've made, all of the work I've put into something. And I feel like whether the black belt comes or not, right? You can make that as a metaphor for your life, whether you get the accolades, whether you get the promotion, whether you get the job or not, we can still look back and just give ourselves that good job, right? and you sometimes have to give it to yourself because it's not going to come from the outside world. So for me, that's where confidence, that's the confidence story that just popped into my head.
No, I love that, because I also love that part of what you said about confidence was it was also because you put in the work and you felt prepared for this experience. And so that experience could be different for everybody. But I love that was your key to confidence. What got you interested in martial arts to begin with?
I was 22 or 23 years old when I first started. That was almost 22 years ago. Stepped into a dojo for the first time in New York. My father had been doing martial arts for many years, so I was curious, but not anything that I really took seriously until I was living in New York City on my own, and thought I essentially started because I wanted to work out in a different way. So I started for the exercise, but then soon realized that there was so many more benefits physically, mentally, spiritually. Again, the confidence that came from learning these life-saving skills. And in that year, I faced a very big challenge, along with the rest of the country and world, obviously. But on September 11th, I had a life-defining moment where I almost died that morning, 3 blocks south of the World Trade Center. Later on that day, to make a very long story short, I made it to the dojo, where that was the first time I felt safe for the day in that moment in time, which became this metaphor for my life going forward. All I wanted to do was get back to that dojo. When I wasn't feeling safe or secure in the world, I went there and I started to really hone these life-saving skills that, again, made me more confident, more empowered, and more ready to take on the world and pursue my dreams.
I love that. So thank you for sharing that. So
yeah,
you have a book coming out this month, actually. And you're going to show the cover, The Art of Badassery, which I just love that. And I told you it reminded me of, honestly, the Charlie's Angels, the girls. I think it's a great cover. Can't wait to read it. I think I actually got a reader copy in my email.
Oh, good.
So I can't wait to start looking through it. So I would love to know just like a little bit more about it, and what would people like, how will it help them feel a little more confident or a little happier in their reading journey?
Absolutely. So the book walks you on a journey from white belt to black belt in badassery. So I use martial arts as a metaphor. You don't have to know anything about martial arts. It'll explain what you need to know. But essentially, the dojo is the metaphor for your life. And that's where you're going to meet opponents. And instead of actual physical punches and kicks coming at you, it's financial hardships, divorce, COVID, just things that every person, disease, is hit with over the course of a lifetime. So the book, again, starts with your past, embracing the sucky things that have happened in your past, all the way to your present moment. And then, making sure you're taking care of your body, knowing how to set boundaries with people, knowing how to bounce back from tragedy and trauma and drama, and then going within a little deeper to start to trust your intuition and tap into that. And then black belt level is all about taking the lead in your own life, becoming the leader that you're truly meant to be.
Oh, that is great. Yeah, we call them, or in my book, Practical Happiness, I call them happiness zappers. And I like to say happiness zappers are manageable. And if you're not managing them, they're managing you. So I like the overlay of identifying them, owning them, and then moving through them through, in your case, like I said, a different example, but like moving through them and healing them. So I love that. Awesome. Okay, so our final question. Okay, for you, I'm giving you a caveat because it kind of matches your book. So you can't say that my personal happiness, we're going to keep you out of the martial arts. So I want a different one from martial arts. But we live a lot in group think when it comes to happiness. So like we often quit doing our personal happiness things because of just, our spouse doesn't like it, or significant other, or our friends, or whatever it is. And I think it's always important for people to realize our happiness is personal. And that's the first principle in my book, Practical Happiness. Happiness is ultimately personal. Does that mean you don't go see the scary movie with your girlfriend on her birthday because it's her birthday? Of course not. We're all going to do some things because the happiness is spending time with our friend, not maybe the actual movie. So it doesn't mean we have to only do our happiness as personal, but we also always need to know what that is. What are those things that really do give us joy and fulfillment and some personal happiness, regardless of whether other people around us participate in it? And it may be part of their happiness too, but it may not. So what would be one of yours? Like I said, I'm sure martial arts is obviously one, but what would be a different one we might not know of?
Again, it sounds silly, but I love holding my kittens. It just makes
No, that is not silly at all.
It just really, I get this like joy and peace, and with the little purrs and cute face. And
how many do you have?
2.
You have 2. Are any of them by you?
No.
Oh, okay. I was making sure us one. No, well, and actually studies show that just even petting our animals and stuff just reduces stress, and it's a great, what I call zapper. I call them happiness zapper, zapper management action plans. So when you're having that moment, just like I said, studies show that pets do that. So I love that you're a pet fan.
Yeah.
And that's your happiness is personal. Yeah. That is great. Thank you, Jennifer, so much for being here, and best of luck with your book launch this month, because I know that's a busy time, and I appreciate you including Happiness Happens Month in your book launch stuff, and sharing your great smile and your happiness with us.
Thank you so much, Pamela, and thank you for the work that you do. This world needs a lot more happiness right now.
Thanks for being part of it.